Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Reacting Chill. I'm Dika. So last time on Bleach, oh my goodness, it was all happening. We had Captain Tozin and Captain why I have so many issues with his name. Captain Tozin and Komomora. Here we go. Captain Tozin and Captain Komomora, aka Sajin, should call him that. It was actually Captain Tozin who released his Bankai, who went up against Kampachi, but that clearly wasn't enough with the demon captain. And just before Captain Kampachi killed Tozin, Captain Komomora had stepped in, and not only was his disguise broken, but he released his Bankai ready to go up against Kampachi. So that was happening away from the Sokyoku. At the Sokyoku, apart from there being certain people not there, such as the captain and lieutenant of Squad 10, Gin, and obviously his lieutenant, they had released the spear who became a phoenix. However, we did find out in that part at the beginning of the episode that Captain Ukitake and his Squad 13 members were looking to destroy the Sokyoku, and I feel like they were in cahoots, you could almost say, with Kyoraku, who, when Kyoraku, I don't know, he threw this weird thing up around the phoenix bird's neck thing, and they used the shield, I'm assuming from Yoruichi's clan, to help destroy it. But before any of that, Ichigo had turned up. He first of all stopped the bird from piercing Rukia. He was in this new get up. I did make a reference to how was he even floating in midair, but anime. So he was able to first stop the first piercing, and the first strike of the bird before it could do it again. That's when the other two captains jumped in and they destroyed the spear, and they also destroyed, I keep forgetting what it's called, but the bar thing. So Renji also turned up. Ichigo and Rukia, as always, arguing in the midst of danger. He entrusted Renji to look after and make sure Rukia got to safety. And at the same time, he took on Squad 4, Squad 1, and Squad 2 lieutenants, but he didn't even use his Sanpakuto. And before that got really juicy, obviously, he took him out. But before it got even more juicy, Byakuya had stepped up to him, ready for round 2. So I'm ready to really get into this because it is all kicking off. Of course, we've got Team Ichigo still making their way to the Sokyoku. I'm wondering if they got to see any of that stuff go down in terms of the spear being destroyed. And if Byakuya and Bakugo, if Byakuya and Ichigo are about to go head to head, I wonder, I don't know, Captain Yamamoto is just he's just chilling there. His lieutenant clearly didn't do much, but I'm wondering if he's going to step in, if he's going to join in. You've got the 13 and 8 who had already destroyed the Sokyoku, and you've only got Captain of Squad 4 and Captain of Squad 2 that are still there, who I'm wondering if they're going to have any impact on, obviously, when the rest of Team Ichigo gets to the Sokyoku. So yes, here we are with episodes 55 and 56.
Tell me why.
You're her brother, aren't you? Why the hell aren't you trying to save her?
Yeah.
It seems talking serves no purpose. Prepare to die.
Shit. He's clearly reached Bankai, that's why he looks like a wizard now, so.
I will capture Rukia, and this time I shall execute her myself.
I won't let you do that. That's the reason why I'm here.
Look at that boy, I don't give two shits.
Rukia actually saved my life in a way. She changed my destiny.
Because of me, Ichigo's fate has been changed. I've put him in terrible danger.
I love how we're seeing this. So on one end, Ichigo's always seeing it as a good thing. Meeting Rukia, I'm able to fight like this. Almost like a blessing in disguise. Meeting Rukia changed my fate, changed everything. And obviously in Rukia has always felt so guilty for ever involving Ichigo in her Soul Reaper shenanigans. So it's kind of sweet finally to I don't know if Renji's telling her this, but finally hearing it, that Ichigo has never felt at one point that she was a burden to him. I'm glad Rukia has been carrying a lot of stuff, so she needs to be getting that off her chest.
No need to say thank you either.
Oh yeah, that captain.
No one move! What you two captains have done here today is a crime of far greater magnitude. Surely you both understand that your actions are unforgivable.
Are you ready, Jushiro? Looks like we're gonna have to make a run for it. Did you really want to fight old man Yama with all those others around? If we did that, a lot of people would have ended up dead.
How dare you stand there and do nothing while they get away?
Oh shit.
I'm going to put you out of your misery. You will never betray anyone ever again. Once you're dead.
Fuck her up.
Such a fuss. I see you haven't changed. You have a quick temper just like you always used to.
Gonna blast her.
The Ryoka was just easy.
What?
It's all right, Isane.
One-eyed
You
Manta.
were not hit as hard as the others.
Wait, is Minosuke her Zanbakuto?
Right this way. There's a certain place that I would like to visit.
Are they gonna go up against
That
Captain?
should do it. We're pretty far away from everything.
Yeah, Yamamoto's here waiting for them. Fuck. I'm scared. Deary me.
I must help them. There's only one thing I can do.
Is he telling her to, like, don't get involved?
Be gone from here!
Yeah.
To teach a mere infant like you how to breathe.
Freaking hell. He just looked at her.
Continuously honing your strength. My faith in you was rewarded when you became the first captains of this academy.
And I realised they were both the most shocked when they found out Aizen died. So were there like, did they come up together? So Ukitake, Kyoraku, and Captain Aizen, with all three of them like grew up together, come up together. If that makes sense. I know maybe that's something we'll find out later, but I know they're only showing these two. So Kyoraku and Ukitake were exceptional.
I am deeply disappointed.
So his staff carries his sword.
We're still hoping to avoid fighting at all, old man Yama, if we can.
Silence! Then what is the true justice of the world, Master? The time for words has passed.
Of course, I knew Yamamoto must be built like... He's literally on fire. Whoa, what on earth? I'm assuming they defeat their opponents?
No, they fled.
Oh.
It was looking like a good fight, too, but that wolf-faced bastard ran off before we even got started. You mean you won without getting so much as a scratch?
I guess it's because it's the first time I've battled like that in a long time. And I must say, I rather enjoyed the feeling. Damn him. How could he have suckered me like that?
Unless he tricked him.
Find out. Somehow he drained me of all my spirit energy. Damn it.
How long since I felt this fear? Like the weight of the deep sea, measured even in its Shikai state. This heat,
Wow.
that blade turns everything before it to ash. Shall we? All waves rise now and become my shield! Sogyo no Kotowari!
It's like when he releases it, it becomes two. So become my shield and become my blade. It's got like a thing around it. So Sogyo no Kotowari.
Heavenly wind rage. unleash an heavenly demon sneer.
Goddamn Gyokotsu.
I like that they both use two blades, which reinstates how they're quite similar, grew up together.
These two are the only dual Sanpakuto, and they are magnificent.
I could only imagine what the manifested forms of their Sanpakutos are, especially Ryujin Jaka. Is he like some flaming dragon demon thing?
Fully healed. I feel great.
Oh, wow.
I'm as good as new, in fact. Many thanks to you for helping me get better.
Shidanbo.
not at all. We're at your service.
Report.
Shidanbo seems fully healed, Miss Kukaku. You can see for yourself.
You and I have a few things to talk about. Let's go for a walk and discuss a few things, like some unfinished business with Yoruichi.
Oh yeah. I really like Soi Fon's design, like her baggy pants. Almost reminds me of like a ninja.
Well, you, on the other hand, looks like you've let your skills get rather dull and rusty. There was no way for him to save Rukia if he couldn't fly.
Ah, that's okay.
Shocking.
Okay, sorry, they just explained it. So the cloak gave him the ability to fly. Okay. Okay, makes sense.
What a shame to see how low the four great houses have fallen.
Oh.
You certainly are top.
I remember they mentioned the four great houses or noble houses. The Kuchiki family is there. So we've got the Shiba clan, who's one of the noble houses. And then Yoruichi's house.
Following in my footsteps?
Oh,
Don't flatter yourself. You still act like you're better. Your time is past!
oh shit. Bitch. Whoa, is she moving that fast?
There is one other title that I never relinquished. Flash Master Yoruichi.
Oh, so many fights going on. So she's Flash Master. Oh shit.
Have you got some gimmick? Hidden in the folds of your uniform? Your movements have improved, Soi Fon. Sting all enemies to death. Suzume Bachi.
That
Can't escape me!
was her Sanpakuto. It literally like formed like a what you call it? It was like a ninja tool. I guess it suits her considering she's the commander of the Stealth Force. What is that?
The power of my Suzume Bachi is in its homonka, or death mark. So all I have to do is hit you in the same place once again, and you die instantly.
Shit.
I suppose you're running in order to buy yourself time, but it's useless. Too slow.
She's gonna thwack her from the hedge. Ooh. Oh shit. Oh. Oh no.
It's something I created myself. You should feel privileged, actually. This technique has only been perfected recently.
Oh.
The Kido draws power first to the arms and legs, and then explodes it outward. You better be careful, Soi Fon. Even I can't control this technique very well.
Shit. So those are really good, two really good episodes. We have battles going on left, right and centre, and things are literally coming to head. So we'll start off right at the beginning as Byakuya and Ichigo has started battling. We saw a little bit where Rukia was yelling at Renji saying, I need to go back, I need to get him out of there. And then Renji basically said to her, look, you don't need to, Ichigo, I mentioned this in reaction, but Ichigo told me something that he owes you his life, like he owes you a favour. And he's always, even in that flashback, he did say it, how, you know, Rukia changed the course of my life. Maybe that is the first time he did actually say it, because prior to that, it was always, the whole point of him coming to the Soul Society and saving Rukia was because of how Rukia saved his sister's life and the debt he felt he owed her there. But maybe this is actually the first time he said it, and if I am wrong, please let me please let me know down in the comments below. It's the first time he actually said how he is grateful to Rukia and how him meeting her changed the course of his life in a good way. He was able to get these powers because of her. And it was kind of nice and touching that Renji basically said to Rukia, you need to let us, you know, take on that burden. And I did mention how there's like opposites in terms of how Rukia sees the situation between her and Ichigo, and how Ichigo's seen the situation between himself and Rukia. And Renji was basically saying that, you know, nobody blames you, none of this is your fault, give us some of the load, you know, that's why I got stronger, to help you. And it was actually kind of nice. And obviously when we first met Renji, he was very, I wouldn't say adamant, but mean to get Rukia back, and we obviously know the conditions and everything that was going on, but it was nice to actually see parts of their friendship coming through. At the end of the day, he would always have Rukia's back. So we had, like I was mentioning before, Yamamoto was definitely looking to chastise Ukitake and Kyoraku, and we found out a little bit more about his relationship with them, and the fact that they were the first two captains, or the first two to become captains of the 13 court guard squads, which makes you think, okay, they must be the eldest out of all the other captains, and clearly the nicest, because everyone else seems to be on some next stop. I mean, apart from Unohana, everyone else is a little bit questionable. However, when back at the destroyed Sokyoku, we had, I keep forgetting her name, Ukitake's squad members were there, and Soi Fon, is that how you say her name? Soi Fon, sorry. So Soi Fon had attacked both of them, basically calling them traitors, and before Ukitake could do anything, and obviously Yamamoto basically said, you don't think either two of you are not going to be punished for this, Kyoraku basically grabbed Ukitake and said, let's fight somewhere that's not going to involve essentially getting our comrades hurt, because if they start fighting here, it's not going to be good for everybody. So he grabbed Ukitake and his lieutenant went with him. And as Soi Fon was unfortunately stomping down on Ukitake's officer, Yoruichi was able to grab her as well, and they fell to their own battle. But going back to the two other captains and Yamamoto, there was a couple of things that he was saying which I kind of almost disagree with him, and I totally understand where Kyoraku and Ukitake were coming from. He, first and foremost, I like how Yamamoto basically, after he dismissed poor Nanao because his own presence pretty much almost harmed her, you know, he was still really impressed with them. He was still really impressed with how they, in terms of their strength, even after all these years. And he felt that this was almost a personal hit blow to himself, because he considered them as his sons. You know, even with their different, I would say, negative points. I wouldn't call it a negative, how Kyoraku was a bit of a flirt, and he mentioned Ukitake had a weak constitution, so he must have been ill his whole life. They were still able to become captains, and for him to have to fight them on this basis, I guess he was feeling really disappointed. And I think I got the gist of, he was talking to them as a father, like you mentioned, a father disappointed with his sons. And so he got his Sanpakto out, which is Rajin, sorry, I did write down, not Rajin, Ryujin Jaka, which, as he said, all things in the universe will turn to ash. That thing was ridiculous. Itself was on fire, and I think that was a Shikai form, just released it. So they were trying to buy enough time to see if they could talk to him, and they mentioned, and I even wrote this down, how he basically called them traitors, like how could they do what he did, and he was like, accept the true justice of the world. But then Ukitake was like, well then what is the true justice? Clearly you can see that Yamamoto's a very, I wouldn't like old school thinking, very backwards. So he was done talking. He didn't want to listen to any of the explanations. And even after he released Ryuji and Jaka, he even said, "Aren't you going to release your swords? Because you're going to just stand there and die, be burnt up to death." And you could see the devastating impact his Sanpakuto had, which is by all means why they left where the Sokyoku was, because everybody was going to get burnt up in that if they didn't move. So we had both of the captains releasing their Sanpakutos. So we had Ukutake, he had oh my gosh, I knew how to say this, so it's Sogyo no Kotowari, and we had Kyoraku, which was Katen Kyokotsu, and again, they were the only two Zanpakutos that are dual wielding, so they become two. And I liked Ukutake's was like a sword, and it's like be my shield and be my sword at the same time. Sogyo no Kotowari. I think I said that. Again, Yamamoto was impressed. He was like, he waited for them, made sure they released their Sanpakuto, and he was still impressed with their form and everything. Like I said, it almost felt like this conversation was a father who was just very disappointed in his sons, and this was a way to reprimand them. I don't know, but they started their fight. We had that little snapback of back in the Rukon district, or was it the West Rukon, or wherever it was, just outside the Serite. You see Jidambo all healed up, and it's from the point when they passed through the gate to now, it's only been 5 days. So we got a chance to see Kikaku, who had some business with Jidambo regarding Yoruichi. So I wonder what that was about. We also noticed how Yumika had won his fight against Hisagi by draining his powers, and Sajin, I can never say his captain name, so Captain Komomoro. Why do I always forget? Komomora, there we go. Captain Komomora had fled, so he said that it was turning into a good fight, but they ran away. But they could all sense Captain Yamamoto's power, the fact that he released his strength. And I didn't specify this in the reaction, but he was always like this. So Sanpakuto was in his staff, and then he literally stood up. And I made the joke about how the fire was bringing circulation back into his body. Probably was. So going back to the fight between Soi Fon and Yoruichi, we find that Soi Fon was not only Yoruichi's former pupil, she's also the current commander of the stealth squad, and essentially her and Yoruichi must have had a very competitive relationship, and clearly she's angry at Yoruichi, not just obviously abandoning her post and leaving. So I'm very intrigued to know what happened over 100 years ago for Yoruichi to go into hiding. But she did notice, and I'm glad they spoke about this, the cape or the cloak that Ichigo was wearing was part of the Shioin clan, so it's part of their powers that allowed him to fly, which makes sense. Thank you for explaining that. She did mention that even the Shiba clan are involved, so the 4 noble houses, you can see that have all gone to shit, basically. So again, I know Kuchiki is a noble house, we've got the Shoin clan who are a noble house, I'm assuming the Shiba clan maybe still are a noble house or not, and then there's a 4th one they haven't mentioned just yet. So Soi Fon just wanted to prove to her that she was much better than her and had a general grudge. Soi Fon always seemed like quite the aggressive, especially even how she acts with her own lieutenant, a very aggressive captain. So she even called upon, when she put her Sanpakuto in the tree, the other stealth squad members, but Yoruichi, also known as the Flashmaster Yoruichi, was able to deflect them. As they went toe to toe with one another, we got a chance to see a little bit of Suzumi Bachi, which is Soi Fon's Sanpakuto, which becomes into it looks like a very like a ninja tool. So she marks her, she gives her the Homonku, which is like the death mark, and she says to her, if I hit you with the second strike, you're gonna die instantly. So as she feels that she's got Yoruichi on the ropes, she's gonna show her this technique. She's like, I've developed it, not developed it, I've just mastered it and you've not seen it before, but Yoruichi is able to recognize it straight off as Shumko, because of the fact that it will blow off if you're wearing clothes. It would blow off your sleeves, and obviously her back area bit was bare. So she said that now I know why you had ripped your clothes off before. But she was like, I'm gonna have to warn you, I don't know, I can't control this myself. So she was gonna use the same technique back on Soi Fon, and obviously it clashed and collided. So I don't want to see who kind of comes out of that. So yes, currently there are so many things happening. I do not want none of the captains, especially the most nicer ones, Kyoraku and Ukitake, to die. Because we never saw much of Aizen's power. Like I mentioned, I'm not saying like all the captains were shocked when Aizen died, but it was relatively hard, I remember, on Kyoraku when he heard of Aizen's passing. And because of how Kyoraku and Ukitake are quite close, I wonder if Aizen was like, I don't know, Kyoraku's pupil or something, or someone he raised, or something along those lines. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention, I think it was called Mitsuki, but Unohana, so the captain of Squad 4, I think that one-eyed flying manta ray was her released form of her Sanpakuto, which was epic. So she brought everyone that was at the oh my god, I forgot its name, where Rukia's execution was about to go down. Everyone except obviously Byakuya and Ichigo were still battling. So she brought them back to the Squad 4 barracks to heal them up. And then now she's on her way to take, I wrote her name down, her lieutenant somewhere. She was like, she needs to go somewhere. She went with her lieutenant somewhere to show her, she wanted to visit or show her something. So I wonder what we'll get from there. So that was good episodes. Again, we've got so many fights and things going on. I wonder if any more other captains are going to jump into the fray. I wonder if any other captains are going to turn up. We still don't have Gin. We still don't have Toshiro. We don't know where those two are. And I'm pretty sure at this point, a lot of the Serite would have felt either what's happening at the Sokyokyu. What's happening at the Sokyokyu with Ichigo and Byakuya, or Yamamoto would have actually overshadowed all of that because he's also released his spiritual pressure. That was it. Thank you so much, and as always, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.